love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy.
Hi everyone, Ricky here from Behind the Bars TV. Hope everyone's fit and well. What I'll be talking about in this episode is what happens when you go to prison. So what happens when you go to prison is you can either go one way or the other. If you're strong in the head, strong mentally, you can get through your sentence without doing what the majority do. The majority turn to drugs, and that's how they get through the sentence because they can't cope with it. Or you can do the best you can whilst you're in there to achieve better things and come out a better person. So when I was in prison, just back in on my recall, I've been back out 2 years now. I changed my mindset whilst I was in there, and I got in a better mindset. Because as the title says, what happens in prison? You can go to prison and you can just sit on your bed and be a bum and get through your sentence without doing anything. But then you're never going to achieve anything. You're going to get back out in the same mindset. You're going to get back out being exactly the same. And you're going to get back out committing crime. But there is a small percentage of people like myself that put the time to good use. I've done the courses that were available to us. I've done any amount of course. I've done computer courses, English and maths. But what I also done was wrote a book whilst I was in there. And the book that I wrote was a fitness book. And it teaches the individual how to better yourself both physically and mentally. Now, this is the book here, Behind the Bars, Ruthless Fitness. And I've just took a big order of them books. I've just had a big delivery, of those books. So if you head on over to my website, which is on the screen here now, and you can buy the book on there, and I can personally sign the book for you, and it'll be delivered to you within a few days. But that book there helps the individual to better yourself both physically and mentally. And it tells you about my experience whilst I was in prison and how I bettered myself. It talks about mental health and the benefits of working out. And if you don't want to go to the gym, you can get fit in the comfort of your own home. But when I wrote the book, I wrote it for prisoners, to help prisoners get in a better mindset. Because if we don't help the people that are in there, what's going to happen when they come out and they come out in the same mindset? They're going to be stuck in the same rut and they're just going to be committing crime again. But if the individuals are in there and they read my book and they take my advice, they're going to come out in a different mindset, overcome all the problems that landed them there in the first place. And it's going to be a better job on society because they're going to come out with a better outlook, and they're going to look for employment, and they're going to look at getting into gyms, and they're going to look at helping other people instead of coming out in that mindset and wanting to inflict pain on people, or not intentionally, but they go back to drugs because of their life experiences and they're still in the same mindset. So when I was in prison, I got myself in a better mindset because my mind was mashed up. I suffered from mental health myself, and I wrote the book for myself really, but I also wrote it for prisoners, and I wrote it to help other people. But as I got further into the book, I realized that this book wasn't just for prisoners. It was individuals at home suffering with mental health and feeling like prisoners, trapped in their own thoughts. Because you don't have to be in prison to feel like a prisoner. A lot of the viewers that are watching this, I know from the comments and the interactions that I've had with them, you're sitting at home and you're in a bad state of mind. You're suffering yourself. But I'm not trying to pitch my book, but if you want to go ahead and buy it, it will better yourself both physically and mentally. You can get it on my website, and like I've mentioned, I'll sign it for you and put a message in, and it might be the kickstart you need to motivate you. But getting back to the title of the video, what happens in prison? In prison, it's surrounded by drugs, violence, and people that are just in a bad state of mind. Obviously, when you move on to the other prisons where you're in the long termers and all that, people are in a different state of mind because they're doing long sentences, and a lot of people are in a positive mindset, but a lot of people are on drugs in prison. And I know that my book has actually helped a lot of prisoners because the prison library of Home House, where I actually wrote the book, they bought a load of me books And I've heard from lads that have been in prison and come out, they've read my book whilst in there, so it is actually getting the message across, and it is actually working. But if you keep watching, people, I'll be putting loads of more content up about what's happening in the prisons, life without parole. So if you're enjoying the content, remember to like and subscribe. I hope you're all doing well. Take care.